Action Comics 1008. Brian Michael Bendis, Steve Epting on this book, Leviathan Rising Part 2. I'm happy to say I have nothing but praise for this book. Action Comics was fantastic. I'm
I
loving it.
waited all week to save this for last,
Yes.
and after 14 books, I was so relieved that I got to the end and was like, well, no, now I need '09.
Yeah.
Right now. I need to know what's happening, which
Did
has been a theme with this book since Bendis took it over.
Director Bones, first of all, I love seeing Director
Yeah.
Bones, and I love that he was set up in Supergirl just last year,
Yep.
and now he's here in Action Comics. Adam Strange has been brought in potentially to be
I
hired by him.
I love the idea that Bendis likes Adam Strange because remember when Earth disappeared in
Yeah.
Superman, it was Adam Strange that made the call.
Uh,
I want to report a missing planet.
And it's kind of referenced because he mentions, after what
Yeah.
happened with Zod, and he's like, "What happened with Zod?"
Yeah.
Oh, it's a long story, and that's interesting. And we've got Sam Lane meeting up with Amanda Waller at a theater, and she's got like
Yeah.
face tech. She's got the Mission Impossible kind of like
Yeah.
fake face, and
Yeah.
like, hey, something's happening, because obviously Waller's team get attacked last issue,
Yeah.
and at the start of the issue, it's the DEO who get wiped out by this big blue light jellyfish thing, as Clark
Yeah.
describes it. And then, so they meet up and they're talking about this, and then they realize that, hey, you never called this meeting? No, did I? Shit, we need to get out of here. And it's them trying to leave for the exit, and this hulking figure. We don't get to see who it is. We just see like the sort of the silhouette essentially coming through the fog, and the building gets blown up, and Waller and Lane are like fighting for their lives. In fact, and then Waller shoots Lane, and it has his shield. He's got like a fancy tech thing on.
She sacrificed him.
Yeah, so she can get away. Yeah, she downs him so she can escape.
Yeah. It's that thing. It's like if you're ever being chased by a bear, you just have to outrun
Your
the
friend.
person you're with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't gotta be faster than the bear. You just gotta be faster than the person you're with. So that's what it felt like to me. Because at first I was like, that's weird. Like she's not. Because clearly we know she doesn't turn on him. But yeah, it was definitely her ploy to get away. Because Amanda Waller doesn't give two craps about your feelings.
Yep.
She's gonna survive.
And Sam
So
just says Lois, as it looks like he's getting about to be killed by whatever this thing is that's coming towards him.
yeah.
So I don't think he's dead, but it definitely the moment
No.
works. The moment works for what it is.
Especially after last issue where Lois told him about
Yeah.
Superman.
And she almost tells Clark
So
she did that this issue, so so
yeah.
he didn't know in advance. She did that herself, and is going to tell him now. But Lois gets taken to the planet. They're kind of bickering about what to write the story of the whole.
If I could type as fast as you could, the story would be done.
Yeah.
Like I love her taking shots at him like that.
Yeah. But she goes back to the planet. She's reinstated. She's there, and she's. I love when she goes past good, and she's like, "This used to be my cubicle. Enjoy." I was like, "Yeah,
Takes
yeah."
care of it.
Still the shade.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's like,
But she gets a corner office.
"Oh, she does, yeah."
Yeah, so that's always good. But yeah, Jimmy hiding under the desk might have been one of my favorite things all week.
I know.
Because he's sleeping.
I loved her calling it though before he did it. Like
Yep.
he's, and this is the moment where Jimmy hits his head, on my desk,
Yep.
and then clunk.
Yep.
I was like, okay, all right, I'm digging this.
I'm trying to think of what the actor I would want to play Jimmy Olsen, because he kind of has a Jake Johnson vibe here, where he's explaining everything he's went through with Cobra, and he's like, yeah, this blue jellyfish thing showed up, and like there were snake people, and it took all the snake people out, and I haven't slept, like I need help, and he's just very or maybe not Jake Johnson, maybe Charlie Day, like that kind of manicness to him.
Yeah, I don't know if their voices are right for it though. Like I feel like
No, but the physical presence is more what I'm going for, like this erratic, like because he's not gee golly gosh, Mister Kent or whatever. I like how they're playing Jimmy up as he's his own journalist. Like, yeah, he's a photographer, he's a photojournalist, but he's just as, I don't want to say because Lois is like an all-timer, but he's up there with the rest of the Planet staff, Lois excluded.
Yeah, so that was the main beats of the issue. Is the
Well, and then Waller shows up
at the end, yeah,
at
Clark
the
and Lois's
end,
place.
yeah, and says to Clark, Superman, I need your help. So of course,
And she even says it's Leviathan. She says that, right? She says that it's Leviathan.
Leviathan strikes.
So no, like I'm digging this. The art's really good. Epting's fantastic. That full page spread of Lois and the planet for the first time again, and everyone kind of around her. Gorgeous. Like the art throughout is fantastic, especially the shadier, more covert stuff with Waller and Lane and all the sneaking around.
The pacing in that scene shows that Bendis and Epting, because I don't know if they've worked together before. I'm sure they have here or there at Marvel, but just the pacing there with I didn't order this, this meetup. Well, I didn't either. And just the oh shit looks they give, and also shout out to the fact that they're in Ohio, which that's where Bendis is from originally, where the character was created of Superman. Like I like when he throws those little things in there. But yeah, no, Epting, just the pacing throughout this issue, it went from breakneck kind of stuff to slow down and take our time back to breakneck, which that's a real skill.
Yeah, no, this was such an easy read for partly for that reason. We should probably just have a glance at that first page because Bendis likes to put all these Easter eggs and things in there.
Josh Williamson's been taken out.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, it says Dr. Fate, James Gordon, Kate Spencer, and then scored out as Joshua Williamson. Sam Lane scored out as well, worth mentioning. And it's also worth mentioning that Steve Trevor and Bones are on that list. But of course, Adam Strange saved Bones, he's behind. So,
well, kind of, we saw Bones crumple. Right?
The last page of him was looking up, right? So he's down on his knees and then he looks up, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So he's I think he's not dead. Okay. I mean, that'd be my read of that. But so we got this hit list here. We have Hero Dials in the Wild, so that's obviously a tease for Dial H for Hero. No More Heroes, No More Villains. Checkmate's mentioned. Spiral, Sugar and Spike Inc., Shade, Cadmus, and there's actually Checkmate soldiers on the front cover with Jimmy. So I'm curious to see how all these play into it. And I don't know, it's intriguing. It's intriguing me.
Yeah. Well, then if you look right below where the DEO and Cobra Cult, those are swapped out, and then you have Argus, Spiral, and all those. There's Crisis we know, right? And there's a list. And it says the Infinite Earth, the Crisis in Time. Oh, so right there you have Crisis on Infinite Earths. You have 0 Hour. You have the Infinite Crisis, which is, the Johns. Then you have the final question mark Crisis, the Flashpoint Crisis, the Convergence Crisis. So they're counting Convergence as a crisis now. And the Dark Multiverse Crisis. As of right now, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many did they say were in Young Justice? Was it 7?
I think it was 7, yeah. 7 sounds right.
So these are the 7 that Bendis is working on. Or working from.
Yeah, working from, yeah. I never even noticed that list. Do you know what's funny? That Flashpoint Crisis, I thought that said Elephant Crisis, and I went, oh, what's coming up? Elephant Crisis? What are we doing with that?
Then I'm looking at the map that's behind the X'd out Cobra logo. And I feel like I should know where that is, but I don't. It looks like it's somewhere in Northern Europe, but...
Yeah, I can't tell you.
I don't know. But yeah. Trying to look at some of the Checkmate stuff. So they have the personnel, you can zoom in on it and whatnot. So, yeah, and just knowing, like, Checkmate was one of Rucka's babies. The fact that we know he's coming to write a Lois book. Mm-hmm. So we know he'll probably give Bendis some input on how to handle that. And Fraction's going to be doing a Jimmy book. And I think he'll be able to handle this Jimmy, make him unique. So it's very exciting for Superman right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless you're someone who just hates Bendis' writing, and there are those of you out there, like, we get Bendis, Fraction, Rucka, and then I wouldn't have known who and Draco was really before Supergirl, but Supergirl's been fantastic. So, like, Superline's in a really happy place right now as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yep. So...
No, that's a great issue. The intrigue of what's happening, the build of it feels like it's getting bigger with each issue. The fact that we start off this one with Bones and Adam Strange is like, okay, it's hitting other major characters now. And then the idea of Waller at the end of the last issue not wanting Superman's help, but and then after this encounter, it's like, shit, I need Superman. It's really intriguing to me. It shows the rising in the stakes. and I really like that.
Very much.
What were you rating Action Comics 1008?
Oh, this is a 9. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9 as well. It's excellent.